everybody, welcome back. It's me, John. Sorry this video is taking so long to get out. I had a couple issues with my timeline. Had to redo the intro, put it back together exactly as it was. But here we are, my review of Metal Black. Where's my game? Here we go. Alright. Hope you guys enjoy this review as much as I enjoyed checking out this game for it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at some of the things I have to say regarding this shoot 'em up on the Sega Saturn. Anyway, here we go. Let's start. So, visually, at first, Metal Black doesn't seem to be anything extravagant, and it's still not. After that wonderful, beautifully animated intro with those cool wireframe effects, and the intro itself leading right into the gameplay, jumping in your ship and soaring out across the destroyed cities of Earth. The first thing you'll notice is that the color palette, it seems drab. Now, yes, it is an apocalyptic world, but the color palette is very appropriate, and those drab colors end up becoming pretty vibrant when you see what stages come afterwards. And that's what I want to talk about now, the level design. The whole game is progressive, meaning it goes from Earth where it starts, taking you to the moon and further out. I think it's a nice little touch that every level has a transition. The bonus stages, which I'm about to include some gameplay right above to show, the super scaling effect is done beautifully. And actually, it sort of makes me wonder why Galaxy Force 2 didn't look perfect on the Sega Saturn. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That is some incredible super scaling. And I think you could pretty much only find that on the Sega Saturn. I don't ever remember seeing a PlayStation game do anything like that. Now, moving on. The special effects. These are the main highlight of Metal Black's visuals. At first, I didn't really care for the game's graphics. I was like, these are really nothing special. The Saturn is capable of so much more. But it's not the visuals. It's the art direction and the art style that gives this game I hate the word, but a vintage look. And the special effects, the pseudo 3D, the super scaling, that's what sells this game. And that's what made me absolutely love the visuals of Metal Black. And all these highlights that make me love this game, it's everything to do with the backgrounds and the foregrounds. Everything in front of and behind the ship, who you're playing as, the enemies, and the action that's going on. Play this game with a very close eye and observe all these little effects and everything you see, and it really makes it a highlight piece for showing off some cool stuff in a game, in a genre that is really not too well known back then for super flashiness, minus certain titles, of course. When it comes to the music and the sound effects of Metal Black, the music at first, I really didn't care for. But after playing through it a couple times, I realized the soundtrack is epic in its own way, and I really liked it. I definitely think it's worth a listen. Each stage tells you the name of the song that's playing in the background right as you start it. There's really nothing bad I could say about the audio. The sound effects, the laser gun, your super attack, all of them sound pretty good. Again, there's really not much more I could say other than the sounds and the music especially. The music may be an acquired taste, but you will acquire it. The sound effects, very well done. All in all, I really enjoyed the auditory experience that Metal Black has given me. When it comes to the gameplay of Metal Black, most shoot 'em ups are pretty fast paced. Metal Black actually slows it down, and I think being a slower paced shoot 'em up works in its favor, because never does it feel unfair. Yes, most of the enemies do maneuver quicker than you do, but it doesn't ever feel like it's cheap or that every time you die is because, oh, the enemies, it's just cheap, it's bullshit. This game actually plays very well, it's very smooth, and it's also very simple. 2 buttons, 2 for shooting your regular lasers, and your super attack. Your super attack is gauged on the beam level. You collect these floating helixes, that's what I call them, they're called New Alone. It's an energy source that was the undoing of mankind in the game's story. You power up the laser beam, it gets stronger and stronger, and the bigger it gets, you'll see, if you look, you'll see how it also fires off and it's wider than your ship. You can use that to your advantage and hit enemies that are actually under your line of fire. As long as they're within the pixel range of the laser itself, it will connect. I don't think that's a glitch. I actually think it's very fair and very humbling of a game like Metal Black to give you that kind of an advantage. When the beam level is maxed out, or at any time, as long as you have gauge, you can fire off a super laser, which, if you hold the super button, will charge it as a straight shot. And if you tap it, it'll go into a laser beam that just shoots everywhere, as you'll see right here. Moving on. The game is split into 6 stages, with bonus stages in between every other, if I'm correct. And at the end of each stage is an awesome, pretty eye-popping boss battle, and every boss in this game, much like in certain other shmups, is a disgusting bioorganic mess. Absolutely horrible looking, and I love every minute of it. I would be lying if I said I beat this game. I have made it to the last boss. I have not beat the last boss. Metal Black, despite being able to change difficulties, it's pretty tough across the board, because the only detractor in the gameplay is a couple of cheap spots, such as in the first stage where the buildings start to move and shift. You'll think hanging back is okay, but you get caught on the screen and the building. And that's pretty much the only negative thing I could say about Metal Black, is a couple of cheap deaths. Otherwise, the game is a lot of fun. It's very fair. Not too expensive. If you have a Saturn, I got a very good price on my game. Lovely $85 plus $6 for shipping. I think that was very fair. So, at the end of the day, let me give you the final word. Okay, so that's how I feel about Metal Black. My final word on this game, I really like the visuals. They grew on me. The score, the soundtrack itself, it grew on me. The gameplay, straightforward, simple, effective, and to the point. One thing I did forget to mention in the gameplay segment is the helixes that bounce around the screen. The game will use those to lure you, to bait you. Don't chase them, because they never disappear. They'll just keep bouncing around the screen and combining with each other to get bigger, which in turn gets you more on the beam gauge. So, I forgot to mention that. Otherwise, this is a game that is slowly going up in value. I've seen it listed on eBay from $120 up to $187. I got a good deal at $85 plus shipping. If you have the means to play this and you're a shoot 'em up fan, I definitely say check it out. Otherwise, do I put it up in the top echelon of shoot 'em ups? It's close, but it's missing something. And I want to say that the replayability it doesn't really have that much replayability, considering it's a pretty short game, even by shoot 'em up standards. But the difficulty is what's going to keep you coming back. Do I say check it out? Absolutely. If you're not a shoot 'em up fan and you want to try to get into the genre, I wouldn't put this at the starting point, but I would say, out of curiosity, give it a shot if you have the means to. Again, if that means playing it by emulator, do what you gotta. Definitely worth checking out. I definitely see it as a game that will just keep climbing in value, as all shoot 'em ups do. Other than that, I really enjoyed doing this review for this game. I'm sorry it took so long to get up. The next game following this, the next two, I'll just put it right out there. Darius Gaiden and the much maligned, for some reason, Heir of Zendor. Both Sega Saturn, both came to America, obviously. Anyway, everybody, I'm John. This is my channel, Elite Gamers United, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Have a good day.